Good evening. I'd like to call the City of Menasha Administration Committee meeting to order. Could we have roll call, please?
Alderman Keehan. Here. Alderman Zielinski. Here. Alderman Benner. Here. Alderman Nichols.
Here.
Alderman Taylor.
Here.
Alderman Collier.
Here.
Alderman Kraut-Kramer and Spencer have been excused.
Thank you. Our first item of business this evening is to approve the Administration Committee meeting minutes from May 16th, 2016. Do we have a motion? Alderman Keehan?
Thank you. I'll move to approve the Administration Committee meeting minutes of the 5/16/16 meeting.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or discussion about the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Minutes are approved. Our first action item this evening is Ordinance 4-16, an ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 1 of the Code of Ordinances, and this is regarding polling places for the August election. And this is being introduced by Alderman Keehan. I'll have Clerk Galiazzi provide a brief summary, and then we'll look for a motion.
Okay. For the August 9th election, the Clovis Grove site is not available. They have citywide registration that day. And so made arrangements to have the people from Districts 5 and 7 vote over at Jefferson School. And I've got all those talking on how to set it up. And in the April election, we did hand out flyers and had things posted to let the voters know that the August election they'd be voting over at Jefferson School. And I will be putting information into the newspaper regarding that.
Thank you. Alderman Keehan?
I'll move to forward to Council 0416, an ordinance amending Title II, Chapter 1 of the Code of Ordinances regarding polling places, as we just discussed, introduced by myself.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion regarding 0416? Alderman Taylor?
Is there any way that we can mail to all the registered voters in that district and let them know that the changes?
Well, it's only temporary because it's only for that August election, and I'm afraid people might get confused. I've done mass mailings when it's a permanent thing, like when we moved from Bonta to the Boys and Girls Club, or when we moved from Heckrod over to Winnegamie. I sent out mass mailing to the voters. We have about 2,200 registered voters in Districts 5 and 7. Typically, you get about a 10% turnout for in August for that election. So like I said, I have put things in the newspaper. All those people that voted, we had a large turnout in April, and they all got flyers, little notes to say that they were going to be voting. And
what about the city websites?
That I would definitely be doing too. When I always have the polling place up there, I'll make a note on there too.
Just a comment. I had two individuals during the campaign process in District 8 told me they were allergic to dogs, canines, and I told them that you can vote at City Hall before the fact. So if there's any type of mailing going out for District 8, I think people should be aware of that and know that if they have an allergy to that type of an environment, that they could come up here and do it at City Hall.
Well, yes, they can vote at City Hall, or they can vote absentee. They can request the ballot to be mailed to them.
Okay.
And yes, I have done that too. I've done it where I've gone out to the car, and the poll workers are also trained in what we called curbside voting. All my poll workers are trained in that, where if there is a person that comes in and requests a ballot to be brought out to the car, they are all trained.
But they wouldn't come in because of their allergies, so they.
Well, they could have someone else go in for them.
Okay.
And there's a doorbell. There's the handicap doorbell, and they would come in, and they don't even have to go into the building. Also, if they would call here at City Hall and let me know, I would definitely make all the arrangements.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. We're talking publicly here, and I want to, no pun intended, take care of all the sensitivities with the voters out there.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, well, turn them off and turn them back on and see who comes first.
It's a race. I won.
Alderman Benner.
Thank you. Sorry, Alex. Debbie, about the only thing you didn't mention was signage at Clovis Grove to let them know that it's at. I assume you're going to be doing that?
Yes, I'm sorry, thank you.
Yeah,
We did that
okay.
the last time too, and actually even when we moved the last two elections that we've had, and I'll have another sign there at Heckrod and at Bonta, just to let people know that those places have been moved also, and we've had them there for the last two elections.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have discussed this, but the parking issue, because for this last election, I know there was a big turnout, but you got another, let's see, 10%, 20, so about 200 and some people, odd people more coming. Where are they going to park? And because we have the pool, it's going to be in August, so the pool's open. Should we close down the pool early so they can park there? Because that's a lot of people coming and going during the day.
Well, in the other elections, school is going on, so there will be no school on that day, so pretty much that whole parking lot should be empty. You've got 2nd Street, we've got Conomac Street that people can vote on, or excuse me, park on. I don't know how many people will be there at one time,
Yeah.
but I think that parking lot in, behind Jefferson School, you probably have about 20 or 25 stalls there.
Yeah.
So-
That's just a concern if,
Okay.
yeah, that would
Yep.
come.
Any other discussion regarding the ordinance change? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Motion carried on roll call, 6-0.
Action item number 2 this evening is O-5-16, an ordinance amending Title 7, Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances. And this is regarding reserve Class B intoxicating liquor license fee. This particular ordinance does not have a sponsor at this time. So hopefully the person making the motion will be willing to put their name on it. I'll allow Clerk Aliazi to introduce the topic, and then we'll look for a motion.
Recently signed into law was removing the option for municipalities that have reserve Class B licenses to refund or grant, refund or rebate any portion of the fee that is paid with a reserve license. Reserve licenses are the ones that cost a minimum of $10,000. The state says you have to charge a minimum of $10,000. City of Menasha, and I know there are a couple other communities that return a portion. We have in our ordinance that we would return up to $8,000 in a grant form refund. The state now, with this new legislation that's just been signed, it removes that option for the municipalities to offer that refund. So our ordinance reflects that we still offer that, so we'll have to change that.
Thank you. Alderman Kehan?
I'll move to forward to the council, or O-5-16, an ordinance amending Title 7, Chapter 2 of the Code of Ordinances regarding reserve Class B intoxicating liquor license fees. And yes, you can put my name on it.
You will sponsor that ordinance. Thank you, Alderman Kehan. Do we have a second? Alderman Zelinski seconds that motion. Do we have discussion? Alderman Collier.
So if I want to buy a bar in Menasha, it'll cost me $10,000. And 6 months ago, I could have got a $2,000 or $8,000 kickback, more or less. I understand, yeah, well, whatever you want to call it, a refund. If I have now that's going to change, so this guy that's opening the bar downtown, if there's a license with the building, does he still got to pay $10,000 for the license to be transferred, or how does that work?
Clerk Galeazzi.
It depends on which building he's referring to. if he's referring to Margarita Lounge at 6 Taco Street, that has a reserved license with it. Yes, he would have to pay the $10,000. And as, with the change in law,
Yeah.
he does not qualify for the grant.
Does he know that yet?
Nobody's talked to me about it.
Alderman Keegan?
To be clear, going back to Alderman Collier's comment, this isn't just in the city of Menasha. This is the state of Wisconsin. Yes.
Alderman Benner?
Debbie, do you know the spirit and the intent of this, or why this was done?
Well, the act that was passed, I know Pam has looked at this too, Act 286, that was the one that allowed municipalities that did not have any reserve licenses or any other regular licenses to purchase from neighboring communities. And so in that, if they purchased a reserve, the neighboring the municipality would have to pay the neighboring community $10,000 to get their reserve license. And so if they gave it to an entity and they ended up giving back 8,000 of that, or like in our case, we'd give back 8,000, then the original municipality would be out some money, whatever. And so that is all part of this act that was passed, and that allowing, it was a nice thing to allow municipalities that didn't have liquor licenses available, you know, even reserves, that they could get it from somewhere else, but then it also took away that option.
You can still do it.
To
but
give it
costs you
back.
10 grand.
Yeah,
Okay,
so.
thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Motion carried on roll call, 5-1.
And we are looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? We are adjourned.